Well done. Hello, Cooper. How are you, mate? Lovely to see you, mate.
How are we?
Thanks for coming. First off, thank you very much to the Milton McDonald's for having us. Mate, we were aware that you were going to be playing a little hurt. We've got some Panadol. We got some Clear Eyes. Is there one of these that you go to? The eyes were looking... We should have really given you the Clear Eyes before you came out, but...
I think you can overdose on Panadol, though.
Well, let's find out.
I'm bad at... I'm not... I'm not great at taking tablets either.
No.
Neither
am I.
I have a bad gag reflex.
Do you really?
Yeah. I think only Joey's good at taking tablets.
Joey's it's his 50th today, isn't it? The big fella?
He is. He's 50 today, Andrew Johns.
Happy birthday, Joey. Well done, Joey.
Yeah. He made it.
Yeah. He just flew up this morning as well, so if you see him around, feel free to go up and talk to him because he's a real people person. He loves the fans.
So how you feeling today, mate? How you going?
Not great. I was close to sleeping through the alarm. I'm not going to lie.
And we fully expected that may happen.
Yeah.
When I woke up and saw that you'd posted something for Joey, I was like, thank God.
He's awake.
I didn't want to do it with just Tom, you know what I mean? Is it true or not that you were in bed crying last night?
There were a few tears last night. It's been a really big innings. Like Thursday night, those people over here, I was at Prohibition, where it's like the stickiest nightclub in the world. Like you can barely walk, it's that sticky. And then big Friday night into a huge day yesterday. We were out at the Fletch and Hindy thing where they were doing 150 Reg Reagans there. They were all dressed up as Reg Reagan. It was like a Reg Reagan party. And me and Dad wandered over about 3 o'clock and Dad would have been the drunkest bloke in there. And he got up and started singing, "Am I ever going to see the Biff again?" And they were loving it too.
Of course they were, mate.
Yeah.
Reg up there himself.
Did you get into a bit of Reg Reagan work? I saw a video of you had a moustache on. I wasn't sure how Reg Reagan you got. Did you have to dress up to get in?
No. One of the blokes in there just took his wig and moustache off and put it on me. But the moustache was so he obviously had such a sweaty top lip that when the stickiness had sort of worn off and it was just hhis sweat that was sticking to me.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's absolutely foul, dude.
Jesus Christ.
And you also had because yesterday generally you had a couple of things. I know you had the family live show. What's a live show like with mum and dad there? Is that a weird vibe?
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird, actually. We had that at Lefties where you guys were a few days ago as well.
Great spot.
So it was good. I mean, Dad really drove it. I got home at 6 a.m. and we had to be there at 11. And I said to him, I was like, I'm going to offer nothing today. I probably won't even talk. And he was in the same boat. We weren't together on Friday night. He said, I got home 4 hours ago as well. I was going to say the same thing to you. So then we said to Jack, can you carry the boat? But Jack's so socially awkward that he didn't even talk. I think his mic wasn't even on the whole time.
And what about your mum? She step up?
Nah, she was really nervous. She made us get there to rehearse and everything, to test. She was she'd never done anything like that before, so she was really rattled. And Dad was going, Trish, you're with Matty Johns on the face of Fox League. It's going to be fine. But she was wigging out the whole time.
I saw videos again of that Matty up there dancing. He looked like he was in a mood yesterday.
Yeah, he finished with a song. He wanted to start. He was trying to start a conga line, and trying to get everyone in there to get on the conga line and walk down to the Caxton together. But it ended up only him and Gordon Tallis. And no one else jumped on the back. Everyone was like, nah, it's too awkward. I don't want to do it.
Jesus Christ. He's a massive dribbler, old man. The more I hang out with him, the more I realise that he might be the dribbliest man in rugby league.
He could be. He would have been very good as your Dior Dave when Dior left. He would have fit in really well with you.
Well, you filled in admirably as well, mate.
I was going to ask that actually. Did Dior leave because I did that and he got angry?
For those who don't know, he's a producer on our podcast, former producer, and when Dave left, we brought Cooper in for a one-off celebrity appearance and just pretended like nothing had changed. We didn't acknowledge it was Cooper Johns the entire time. Look, I don't know if he left because of you. He certainly felt a little bit bereaved. He, threatened. You did a bloody good job, mate. I got to be honest.
We were talking this morning, Tom and I, because we knew that you were playing hurt, playing dusty. How would you go about hiding a hangover from Craig Bellamy? Like, do you have to line up after a weekend and he smells you just make sure you're not on the piss still? Like, how does that work?
Good question. To be fair, when we were at Melbourne, like a lot of the times we kind of go in for like when you play a game on a Saturday, you might have review the next day on a Sunday. So you have to go in and like do ice baths and like watch the game that you'd play the day before, which was like the worst anxiety I've ever had in my life because I always played. So whenever I'd go in, there'd just always be clips of like, he used to write, like, he doesn't write the full words. So he'd say your initials. So he'd be like Cooper J. He'd write CJ, and then he'd write WTF if it was. You had like cheese, Munster. Like there was more drunk people in the room than sober people at the time. So I think he just kind of didn't really care.
Yeah, you're only sus if you're sober.
You were back at Melbourne the other day. What were you doing there? You were out there running drills. You just did Craig get you back? Thought the team needed a bit of professionalism in there.
Yeah, leadership. He needed some more leadership. Nah, I was down there for radio. So I was down there for the week doing like a giveaway for radio, and I was in there doing ice bars with Harry. Not that I needed the ice bars. I don't know why I was doing recovery, but I was just in there, and Bellyache come up to me, and he was like, "Oh, we need someone to train tomorrow." He's like, "Hughesy's might not play this week, and Jonah Pezzett's out for the year, so we're like lacking like a half. Can you just train just one off?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll send you an invoice, and I'll come down and train." And but when I got down there, it just like happened, like the media team, Kobe Shavosky and that were like, "Oh, hey, we'll mic you up and we'll just record a little bit. It could be a good of a laugh." But then, unfortunately, it just sparked this thing where all these people must have thought it was real and like I was actually coming back. So I was getting like just death threats from all the Storm fans going, "Mate, stay in Manly, don't come back." I was like, "Guys, I'm not coming back, and I never will."
What's the moment like at the Storm when you realise you're not wanted anymore?
Yeah, that was pretty early on actually, to be fair. But I signed such a long deal when I was young that they couldn't piss me off, so I just stuck the heels in so I couldn't leave. It was pretty. You know what? It was pretty good conversation. Like, I'm pretty close with Bellyache and Frank Panisi.
Yeah.
So it was pretty sweet conversation. Like, to be fair, I was pretty like, yeah, sweet. Like, I wasn't set on just kind of cruising and staying down there just as third string for the rest of my life. So I was like, I'll go be a third string somewhere else until they pick me off as well and force me into retirement. But no, he's pretty open, and the best thing about Bellyache is how honest he is. So he was pretty just like, "Oh, look, we've got Jonah coming through. We see him developing. Like, there's probably not another spot for you." And I was like, "Sweet, as long as you let me come back down every now and then to train."
And then up to Manly. How did you find? Did you enjoy your time there? Like, and
Greatest club of all time.
Well, it's the greatest club of all, Eddie. We'll win the comp this year, no doubt. Do you miss footy at all? Like, are you happy?
I'm pretty happy. Like, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty sure. I mean, the biggest reason that I kind of chose to leave was, apart from the fact that I got sacked, but that's a different story, was the fact I'm probably better at talking than I am at tackling Fijian back rowers. So I decided it was more, and Dad said the same thing. He was like, "Mate, why would you bother trying to miss 40 tackles a game when you can just talk for the rest of your life like he did?"
Mate, it's not a bad point from your old man, you know what I mean? And part of him, I think, he'd suffered enough shame, you know, watching his boy go out and, you know, miss 40 tackles a game.
I think you're talking about Jack. I think Jack's the least favourite son in the family.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you've transitioned very well. They're calling you the new Bo Ryan. How does that feel?
Yeah, not great. Actually, Hindy the other day was when I was doing the Elvis thing down at street. Like, he was like, "What were you doing?" I was like, "Oh, it's just down there doing some street talk." So then for the next 6 hours, Hindy was that blind. He just kept calling me Bo Ryan, and I was getting so angry at him. Like, I was like so pissed off. It was such a touchy subject in my heart.
Okay, so it's safe to say you don't like the Bo Ryan tag,
No,
mate.
not that I hate Bo Ryan. Nothing against Bo Ryan.
Ryan's a good man.
I just don't want to be Bo Nose 2.0.
Yeah, you want to be your own man.
Yeah.
You want to carve your own path. I can respect that.
Yeah.
The guy dresses Elvis with a huge prosthetic penis. That's your angle, I think. I like it.
Well, no one else has done that.
No, we haven't done that
No,
yet.
it's fresh.
Yeah.
The fake penis never been done before,
no.
mate.
No.
Never been done.
It was big. But you've moved into the radio gig seamlessly. What's a week like with Kyle and Jackie O? It feels like there's no 2 days are the same. They've got you doing all manner of things.
Yeah, pretty well. I'm in there basically every morning from 5:30, which is pretty shit for me because I hate getting up early. Like I'm just not a morning person at all. So it took me like 3 months to actually sort of just not be like falling asleep at the table. They just kind of let me just do whatever I want, and that's kind of what my role is really. They've just kind of got me there, and I just sit in front of a mic at my desk, and then like some days I have nothing to do, so I'm just sitting there like drinking coffee or playing Candy Crush, and they might be like, Cooper, what do you think about that? But I haven't been listening because I'm playing a game, and I'm like, yeah, I'll just add my 2 cents here and there. So it's good fun though. Like I love going. The best part about it is every ad break when they throw to a song, they just go out and pump darts out on the veranda of the building. So I'll just go out there and just get a bit of secondhand smoke in the lungs and just spin some yarns with them. So it's good fun.
What's Kyle like, the big fella? Did he love spinning old war stories? He strikes me as a bloke who just like loves telling you about what he did in the cross 20 years ago.
Yeah, he's got some good... I've only just started getting them out of him. I don't know like if he didn't trust me for like the first 4 months or what, but he kind of would just not really say anything. But now I think he's like, I think he's trustworthy. So now he's slowly just started to tell him and John Ibrahim stories on King's Cross. I seen Johnny. Actually, we had a party with Johnny Ibrahim not long ago.
Mate, you were in like the Daily Mail on a yacht for some party with all of them, weren't you? That's right.
Yeah.
Talk about you were third string at Manly, now you're Daily Mail.
You're like
yacht
Sydney
life.
Confidential, so you're in the glossies now.
Yeah,
mate.
you are.
Yeah, Buzz Rothfield. Spotted Buzz Rothfield stuff. Yeah. No, it's weird. It's very weird because I'm still like when I got back from Vegas, I remember there was like a paparazzi bloke sitting there taking pictures because obviously they just kind of do it for the show, so they can say, "Oh, Kyle and Jackie O's Cooper yada yada was sent to Vegas for this." Nothing to actually do with me, but I was sitting there like hungover, just kind of looking down the barrel of this camera, going, "I wonder who he's here to get." Like looking behind me, and then the next Dad sent me like a text like 20 minutes later. He's like, "You've been papped at the airport." It's like, how low is Australian media getting when they are choosing to take pictures of you over everyone else?
You mentioned Vegas. You were the busiest man in Vegas. I think you had about 50 gigs on. Like really squeezing the rag, mate.
You've been doing 6-hour days, live streams and podcasts.
Professionals,
We're
mate.
professional, mate, and we work hard.
Early to bed as well.
That's exactly right. 8 o'clock, mate.
Yeah.
You know, up, went for a run, gym.
Sauna.
Have you been gymming?
Yeah.
Actually, Tobler come out with me and Jack the other night. Where is Tobler?
Tobler's over there, our producer, Tommy.
Yeah,
Tobler.
There he is.
Tommy Tobler, our producer over there, without our permission as well, I started texting the Johns brothers. Did you have to ask him to leave? How did that work?
No, he left on his own bat. He came. He was like, I'm coming. Sweet. He rocked up. We had one drink, and then he goes, yeah, sweet. See you later, boys. I was like, how boring were we?
Peeled away, Tobler. With all the Raiders players? Jeez, come on, mate.
But did you survive Vegas in the end, though, mate? I don't think I've seen you since then.
Yeah, I barely. Like, the hangover from coming down from that was like probably the worst I've ever had in my life. 6 nights was just like...
It's too much.
5 nights too many.
Yeah.
If I ever did it again, I'd probably just go for like one night, Saturday, and then straight out on the Sunday.
Yeah.
It was so
the idea of going again next year already gives me anxiety. I was like, having never been to Vegas, I was like, this is the most unnecessary amount of time to spend in a place like this.
Yeah.
You don't know what time it is. It's 4 a.m. before you realise, and then you're up again to... We had to do an interview with Dan Ganane, who we had to. He was good enough to do it with us. And I'm like sitting there and I just didn't ask a question.
He didn't ask a single question. I'm just sitting there for like 40 minutes, 50 minutes going, is this bloke serious? I look over and his like eyes are basically welded shut. Complete mess.
Yeah, it's a great spot to... If you didn't go last year, you should go.
You got to
it's,
go.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. But in saying that, 2 nights... Go for the weekend because otherwise you won't know yourself.
Well, you'll come back without a soul.
Yeah.
And that's not what you want.
Yeah.
Mate, you and your old man started a podcast backstage, Cooper and Maddie. What's that experience been like? And also working with your dad.
Yeah, it's weird. Like we got a pretty good relationship though, me and the old man. So we have the similar sense of humour. He's a little bit less funny than me, but we kind of just bounce off each other. And it's nice getting a mix of different guests. Like I'll get kind of the young boys that he doesn't really know. Like we've had Nathan Cleary and boys like that on, and then he'll get some of his old mates like Gus Warland and Mark Burris on.
Yep.
So it's a good mix of like the youth and the old bull working together. But I mean, it's definitely tested our relationship at times too, as I'm sure it has for you guys.
Yeah, it's different with your dad though, right? Because you can, you know, when you like, there's something about when your parents tell you to do something or correct you on something where you almost don't want to believe it. Do you ever find that with him? You're like, "Well, shut up, Dad."
Yeah, he just like, the only thing that annoys me is when we sort of disagree on something and he'll pull the I'm Matty Johns card. Like
Does he actually pull that?
Yeah, he does.
It's a great card to pull if you can pull it.
Yeah, he'll be like, "Oh, mate, I've done this for 40 years. Like, I think I know best." And me and Jack will always kind of be like, "Oh, I reckon this would work a bit better." And he'll go, "Please, I've been doing this for 40 years. I've got 2 shows on Fox. I've done multiple podcasts. Just listen to me. I never fail." I'm like, "Well, you clearly don't remember your Channel 7 show."
And how do you find the process of having to interview people? Like, do you prepare a lot for it? Is it kind of a new thing for you, I guess, a little bit?
Yeah, I've probably learnt to prepare more because Dad's like really meticulous with preparation. Like he likes to act like when he's on there, kind of just like, but he works so hard with, and he doesn't know how to use a laptop. So he has to hand write everything down and then give it to Trish, who then has to type it up.
Oh my God,
so
how efficient.
Everything's like a 3-day process.
What do you mean he can't use a laptop? Like can't use
They're
one
pretty
at all?
easy these days.
But he can't type. So he obviously grew up in a generation where it's like there were no laptops until he was like, 20-something probably? Yeah. So he wasn't learning at school. So if he does type, he's like a monkey on a typewriter. So he's like just only using his index fingers. So Mum has to do it all. Like he doesn't have an email address either. So he doesn't, if anybody wants to get in contact with him to do anything, they have to go through Trish.
Jesus.
That's so good.
That is very good. I almost feel like your old man's done that on purpose, though, a little bit. Like, I can't use an email. You do it for me, you know.
Yeah, well, I understand. I take that approach a little bit sometimes in the Hello Sport world.
Just act stupid, mate. You do it all the time.
The Fury fight was on, and Eddie's like, "Can you cast that to the TV?" I'm like, "Sorry, dude, don't know how." And I just sat in bed and watched the whole thing. He's like,
so I had to lay on the corner of the bed, like, staring across 5-metre gap.
Who is the brains in your operation?
Me.
Well, I don't know about that. He's the brains in a technical sense, for sure. Well, or in a, like, the business side of things. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's run his own businesses and stuff before, whereas I am just a bit more like...
He's Tommy content.
I edited the podcast for, like, the first 5 years. And then now, obviously, with Tobler here, we don't have to do that anymore. But, like, that's my sort of things. But if it's in terms of, like, how we are able to do it as a job, Eddie, I think you would say.
Thank you. Kind words.
Round of applause for Eddie, guys.
Thanks. Yeah. Oh, thanks. Thank you very much. No. Now, Cooper, it might sound like a stupid question, but have you watched any footy this weekend?
No, I haven't.
What?
No, I haven't.
No.
Do you like the Storm's performance, mate?
I don't know. I haven't seen any. I haven't even looked at the scorelines yet.
So you don't even know any results. Should we get some results up for you? Even if it's because this will be the first time you've heard about it. Just
Yeah, let's get some. I was going to go watch Manly Broncos, but then I just completely lost track of time.
Good decision not to do that. Raiders beat the Dogs 24-20. How does that make you feel?
Jesus.
Does that make you feel anything?
Don't really feel anything at the moment.
Okay, no, that's good. That's a good start. Manly lose to the Broncos 13-12. Does that make you feel anything?
That makes me sad.
Yeah?
You love the club, obviously.
Yeah, love the club. I played in last year's Magic Round when we got flogged by 30 points.
Yeah, we watched that. That was a tough...
Oh, were you in that?
You in that?
Yeah.
It's a tough night at the office, mate.
Yeah, it was a tough night at the office. I remember...
How soon into the game do you realise that you're in a game like that?
How soon in?
Because we realised it pretty soon in.
And the crowd that we were doing...
Probably when Teamless Tuesday came out. Nah, it was pretty early. I remember, Brad Parker was my centre, and I was like, Reece Walsh was just starting to catch fire at this point of the season, and I was like, Parks, just jam all the time because he's too quick. Like, I'm not going to be able to get to him. And he was like, yeah, sweet. So then Parks just kept jamming, and Reece is like, a lot of people don't know, but Reece is really strong too. Like, because he's kind of short and a little explosive, like, he's really hard to tackle. So Parks just kept missing him, and they just kept scoring down our edge. And I was like, what's going on? Like, how are we going to defend him? And Parks was like, I think this game's done, eh?
Yeah, well, he was correct. He was correct.
That was a tough night at the office.
That was Cobbo hat trick, I believe. Knights beat the Titans 28-24.
Yeah, wow. That's good. Don't feel much about that either.
No?
Actually,
you don't have any emotional connection to Newcastle, given your lineage.
No. Yeah, I do.
You
sorry.
Surely something.
It's good. I tell you what, they are playing good without Kalen Ponga.
Yeah, well, it's one of our hot takes that we've got later, but they seem to be better without Kalen.
Yeah, because I played against David Armstrong, who's playing fullback for him now, last year in reserve grade, and geez, he's a good player. So good. There's so many good. It's probably the best year ever of like second string fullbacks. Like you look at Trey Fuller, David Armstrong.
Love Trey Fuller.
Tristan Saylor, Sua Farlongo. Like there's so many freak fullbacks who actually aren't even playing regular first grade at the moment. We could probably a walk-in starters at a lot of other clubs.
Could you have ever played for Newcastle? Did you ever get an offer?
Yeah, when I was when I was 17. I decided to go down to the Storm. I originally, the two clubs before I spoke to Bellyache were Roosters and Knights to go to. But I was a Storm supporter growing up as well because Dad used to do a bit of coaching down there when they were over the salary cap. Probably his salary that they were paying at the time. So I used to love the big three and like Greg Inglis because I used to see him all the time down there. So I used to just froth them, and I wanted to play because at that stage Cooper Cronk was leaving, but Cameron Smith and Billy Slater were still there. So I was like, oh, I'd love to go down and train with those fellas all the time.
Who's your team now? Do you support a team now?
I still go. I'd probably say Storm because my best mate Harry Grant's now the captain, so I love to see them going good. But I've got a soft spot for Manly as well.
I should hope so.
As well. But the Battle of Brookvale next week too. So the Cooper Johns Cup. I don't know.
The Cooper Johns Cup.
Are you getting that made up? Is that official?
I've put in a word out. I've contacted a few cabinet makers.
Yeah.
Trying to get them to make a little wooden trophy.
Yeah, well, like if they were going to get a sort of statuesque trophy, what would you be doing? Would it be you passing a ball? Would it be you dropping a ball? Would it be you missing a tackle?
It'd probably be Viliami Kikau running over me and me just on the ground.
The Cooper Johns Cup, I like it. Well, I mean, I can't think of any other greats that have played for Manly and Melbourne, you know.
Matt Orford. I think Matt Orford's the only
You're
other
better
one.
than Matt Orford.
Well, no, you are. You're better than Matt Orford. Premiership winner Matt Orford. Also, I think Stuart Bell. I don't know.
Yeah, Stephen Bell. And Chase Blair.
And George Rose.
Yeah, George Rose. Jeez, there's a few
There's
now.
actually a couple. I think you've still got the Cooper
It's still the Cooper Johns Cup.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
The most recent.
Yeah, exactly. The most recent departure. The Sharks beating the Roosters 38-30.
Wow, that's a big scoreline.
It was a good game.
Great game.
There's been some good games on.
Yeah. Wow, Sharks. Shit on me. I didn't even know that.
Well, you haven't known any results, so that's all right.
Nah. Well, I caught up with Nico for a beer last night, actually, and I didn't even ask him if they'd won. So. That's pretty disrespectful of me now that I think back on that.
Do you reckon, you're obviously mates with him if you caught up for a beer, is he your halfback for Origin?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think he's probably been unfairly criticised since that one game where he missed a tackle on Munster, where he was thrown in the deep end in the centres. So
yeah.
And how good he's been playing for the Sharks this year. Thanks, lunatic. How good the Sharks are playing this year, I think they've really come on as a side. I reckon after hearing about that scoreline last night, I'm pretty sure they'll be in and around that grand final.
They're looking all right, aren't they? They're looking all right. And again, they're struggled against... The Roosters, though, seem like they could, if they get it all together, they could be pretty good. Like when they're humming, they look amazing.
Yeah. I think, you know what the best thing's been for the Roosters was when Victor Radley got hurt a few weeks ago, I was chatting to Cheese and they had to completely changed the way they play. Like if you watch how they played, it was most of the time it was just Radley sort of getting up and playing out the back to your Kearys and your Walkers. But ever since when he got hurt, they had to play a lot flatter. And like Sammy Walker, the last 4 weeks since he's grown the beard, has just nearly been one of the form halfbacks of the comp.
He's a different player.
Yeah, because that's the way he plays. Like anybody that's played with or against Sammy, he's so off the cuff and just likes being flat on the advantage line, getting the ball in his hand. So ever since that, their attack's been humming.
Can you grow a beard?
Yeah.
Nah, this is as patchy as it gets.
Puby.
Yeah, it's like a neck beard. Like
Yeah.
it only grows underneath here.
Do you think that if you could grow a beard, you'd still be playing?
I think I would have needed more than a beard.
You should grow the neck beard out, mate. Just
Yeah, I
a
think
nice,
it's a bit,
subtle neck
probably
beard.
a bit late now. I've already retired.
Well, yeah, but just a good look, you know. It'll age you up a little bit of a sex symbol sort of vibe. The neck beard, what do you reckon?
No, I don't think that's going to work.
Have you ever found your way onto like a hottest players in rugby league list or anything?
Oh, you talking about Roastie's list?
Yeah.
Eddy list.
Did you ever make your way onto Roasties?
The lowest I ever got, was 33.
That's pretty good.
Geez, that's all right.
But then, year by year, when people started to figure out that I wasn't as that good a player, it just slowly went 76, 99 off the list. Yeah.
Was there anyone ahead of you when you were at your highest that was offensive to you?
I think Jake Travojevic.
I don't know.
Because I was going through.
Jake's very attractive.
Yeah, I was going Nico, good sort. Even Harry polled higher. I was like, he's a good player, so I can see that's attractive. Leave that. Kalen Ponga, good sort. Reece Walsh, good sort. And then I was like, Gerbo. And I was like, no. I know he's a nice guy and that might be attractive, but he's not that nice. No one's that nice to poll that high.
Now, we've got to do a couple of hot takes for Maccas. So we're just going to throw a few at you and we can sort of have a little yarn about whether you agree or disagree with them. And I'm just going to have to...
Are they rugby league ones?
Yeah, well, not all of them.
Listen.
You're just going to be patient,
Okay,
mate.
sorry.
You relax, mate.
You're jumping the gun, mate.
Calm down. We sort of touched on it just a second before, but the Knights are better without Kalen Ponga.
Agree?
Well, what do you...
I think right now, yeah, agree. They're playing better footy. I think when Kalen comes back, they just need to not rely on him as much because they just mould their attack just so Kalen gets it all the time. Whereas now that he's not there, other blokes have probably had to pull their finger out a little bit more and take a bit more ownership, which is seeing how good their attack is lately. They're just running holes through teams now rather than trying to set up just to get Kalen the ball out on an edge. And it's too easy to defend.
Is there is that sort of an issue with clubs where you've so clearly got one best player that there can be a propensity for them to focus too heavily on? Manly sort of have it with Tommy.
Yeah, well, that was going to be my example. 2021 when Turbo won the Dally M. So
great year.
When Melbourne were playing against them, it was okay, we just stacked one side with 11 players. Wherever Turbo was, they'd send an extra number and the fullback would come into the line and they would just encourage them to play the opposite side to Turbo. They would give, Manly, an extra number on one side just so they didn't go to Turbo. So he'd, barely touch the ball. And it was just when you have someone who's that good in your team, the attacking coach has just designed kind of everything around that player because obviously they're the best player on the field. So it probably works against a team's attack sometimes when they're just always trying to set up to give it to one bloke.
Well, it sort of leads into the next one, but Tommy Turbo to the centres. Obviously, he's done his hammy for the 400th time.
6th time, Tom.
600th? Or
600th,
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus. What do you reckon there? Is it time for him to become a centre, or do you think it's just he's still too good to be moving?
Well, I don't even know if that's going to help the hamstrings, being at centre.
I've actually always thought that as well.
We heard that once and we're like,
maybe. They're saying centre.
Sure.
You've still got to run.
Well, that's what I mean. He hurt himself in Origin when he tore his pec at centre. So it's I think it's more so just trying to help his body as much as possible rather than... I mean, you could probably help his load, in terms of he's not running as far for his hamstrings at centre because fullbacks run typically like 10 Ks in a game, whereas centres probably reach like 7. So that could potentially help the hamstrings not being worked as much.
Do you reckon the club would be thinking about what the future looks like for Turbo? As like,
We're
much
not.
as I'm not. Hey,
We're not.
I'm not saying that.
Not us.
Peter Peters?
But do you reckon there'd be yarns going on?
In terms of...
Like you
Getting
pay
rid
him
of
$1
him.
million and he plays not even
getting
half
rid
the
of him,
year.
surely. Maybe even just not paying him $1 million.
Yeah, I would probably think when contract negotiations come around again, Turbo's the kind of bloke that, because depending on at that point how injured he's been, how many games he's playing, he would put his hand up and take a pay cut so that they could probably buy a fullback behind him in case he gets hurt as well. So they can sort of have, like Melbourne have got Pappenhausen and Suafalogo, because Pappenhausen's injury prone, it's so important having another person there who can do a good job when he's in.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what Turbo would do, and he's pretty team orientated, so he would put his hand up for that.
Yeah, he's team first. He's team
Oh, my word, he's team.
He's team first.
He's team first. Latrell, not to be picked in Origin.
I think there's a lot of good centres who are probably playing better than Trell at the moment, so I would probably agree with that. But I think Trell probably wouldn't even want to play Origin right now. I think his first focus would be trying to get Souths to start winning again.
Yeah.
Because
Or get Brace in the ring.
yeah. Or at Toddy's and just fight him out the front. No, I think I look at a bloke like Bradman Best. He's probably...
He just did his hammy yesterday, I think.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I believe so.
He didn't come out for the second half or something like
Yeah.
that. Which is
Our own
great.
research.
We're going down like flies, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not good. Not good at all.
Yeah, I don't know who's left then.
Crichton, Stephen?
Yeah, I would say Stephen Crichton. I don't know if Jack Whiten's putting his hand up.
No, he said no. He
he
said
say
he's not
no?
doing it. Tango?
James Tarmow.
No, yeah, well, yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, he's
Tarmow.
He's in playing the Q Cup at the moment. He could do
Yeah,
a
yeah.
job.
Is that what you said then?
No, Tango. Targo,
Isaac.
Tango.
Yeah. Yeah, I reckon
Panthers.
Sorry, it goes in one ear, out the other. Yeah, I reckon he's probably been one of the top 3 centres the last 2 or 3 years. I reckon he'd go good in Origin. He's probably built for it too.
He could do something, couldn't he?
Oh, he'd do something, Tom.
He'd have to do something.
We know he'd do something.
Look, a more McDonald's-centric one here. Sweet mustard, the best of the sauces.
Sweet mustard.
Yeah.
I've never had it. I'm a sweet and
Get
sour
outta here.
sauce.
See, listen, that's what everyone says. Everyone says sweet and sour because everyone thinks that's what you should like. Sweet mustard's the best sauce. It just is. And people that say it isn't haven't had it.
Is there
any sweet mustard?
sweet mustard fans anywhere? Is it? Look at this. Where
1.
3.
There we go.
3, 4, 5. There's a few here.
Pathetic.
Do we have any
These-
sweet mustard in the crowd?
No,
That, like
but-
we can test? Like, just dip the pinky in?
Yeah, cause if Tobley can get some sweet mustard for Cooper and a chicky nug, I doubt he's going to. He will eat them on the way back.
Loves a nug, don't you, Tobler? I don't
so
know
do
where
I,
he
in fairness. Blaze Talangi, the best fullback option for the Eels.
Yeah, I would probably... I think Gutho's still their best fullback. I think Blaze Talangi's a better winger. I look at Blaze Talangi, he plays a lot like Joseph Suaalii. Big, tall, and on his debut, when he got it out the back and just charged over Turbo, I think that's probably his best spot. Because I don't think he's got probably the ball skills of Gutho yet. That probably comes a bit later with fullbacks that are built like him. I think he's probably best playing on the wing for that team right now, and then in 2 to 3 years, once he's developed the other skills, I think he'll be a world-class fullback.
Okay. And then obviously Tedesco or Edwards for State of Origin as well. We're saying Tedesco should be in over Edwards. That's the hot take.
You think Tedesco?
Yeah. Well, it's the hot take thinks it. I am impartial. I want to know what...
Are you the hot take, though? Are you the one who made that?
Well, listen, I'm staying away from identifying where the hot takes came from, but the hot takes are there, and we need to know how
They
you
may or
feel about it.
may have not been written by us last night on his phone.
They may have been written by us. They may have not.
Just answer the question.
Answer
Okay,
that
sorry.
question, mate.
I'm going to go Dylan Edwards. I think Dylan Edwards deserves a crack, and I think he's probably the best. He's the form fullback of the last 3 years. So I think after winning And I think he's actually going to get the Dally M medal as well. So there's
that
two
right?
hot takes.
There you go. There's
There
a
you
hot
go.
take.
That's
You've
a hot
returned
take.
with a hot take. Is he leading it at the moment?
Yeah.
He is leading it.
It's not that hot take.
It's actually it's a lukewarm
Right, so
take.
he's
mate, at
favourite
that
and
point.
he's in front. Great take. Hey, we were on Tedesco. We were talking about him the other day. From what I've seen, it seems like, and this is with all due respect, but it seems like he slips over more than any player in the history of rugby league.
Yeah, I think he needs longer studs.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there, but
I think it's an average of 4.5 slips a game. We worked it out too. We got Tobler doing he went through every game he's ever played. And
how did you find that out?
We made it up.
We had to watch every single game he's ever played and just keep tally.
We work him to the bone.
Yeah.
We work him to the bone. He's actually still an intern. Before we go, we've got a couple of things. I just want to quickly get your thoughts on tonight's games, and then we've got some questions, just little fast 5 questions we whipped through with you. First game, Panthers-Warriors.
Panthers-Warriors. Who's going to win? Okay. What about this for a hot take? I'm going to go the Warriors.
Oh, that is very hot.
That's a hot take.
There we go. Andrew Webster over there.
They are not favourites.
Talk us through that.
I think they're due for a win. I think Nathan Cleary out last week, and I'm pretty sure Brad Schneider got hurt as well in reserve go last week, so I don't know who's playing halves for him. I haven't looked at the team list.
No, listen, shockingly, we don't have the team list on us either.
That's fine. Let's just go with the Wires then.
yeah.
For no reason other than that I just like the outsiders.
Because
that.
Cooper says they're due.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Okay.
There's value there. Then we've got your boys, the Storm v the Eels.
Yeah.
Do the Eels have it over the Storm of recent history, or am I making that up?
They've been a little bit of a bogey side for the Storm. Them and the Raiders kind of can come up with some big ups. They've had some historic upsets against them. But I think, historically speaking, of the last 8 years, Storm have... I don't think they've ever lost to them at Suncorp.
Okay. Oh,
So,
wow. Oh,
That was
the
almost a
bag's fully
complete
ripped.
shit show.
Oh,
Look at
we giving him a sweet mustard run here?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well done, Tobler. I didn't think you were listening, mate.
Everyone block your ears. You're going to hear some chewing into a microphone. It's going to be nice.
Listen, these come back a bit light, Tobler. Come back very light, mate.
I'm actually pumped for this.
Yeah. Now, come on, just give it a good lap.
Well,
What do you want me to do it
You got to
for?
have it on a nugget.
I do not the finger.
Well, I think you want to try it in its best form, purest form.
There you go,
I'm
mate.
shaking. Okay.
You're nervous, are you?
Hit the back of my throat. No, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Is it sweet and sour sauce?
Yeah.
No, that's
better.
sweet mustard.
It's sweet.
No,
mate.
I'm saying, is it on sweet and sour sauce
sorry. I was
level?
like,
I can't answer that. I don't know.
you don't know.
You're asking
I
a
would-
rhetorical question.
Let me
just
have
musing
one.
here.
Let me double dip just so I can have one more thing.
Very uncouth to do that.
I don't mind. That's very offensive to poor old Burmo.
Yeah.
Wow, it is good though.
Yeah. It's good, dude. Listen,
I would say yes. I'd probably say that was a good hot take. Yeah, I reckon that's probably better than sweet and sour sauce.
do you now realise that you've just been living in a world where the possibilities are now endless? You didn't realise sweet mustard was sitting there right in front of you.
You didn't realise that you'd come here today and your life would get better forever because now you've got sweet mustard in your life.
Do you know what they're talking about? The Waz. A Waz fan the other day told me the greatest thing ever about McDonald's: the steamed bun. Have you ever had that? I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, dude, steamed buns.
Yeah.
Steamed buns.
I know about steamed buns, but I'm too lazy to ask for them.
What I do is I forget every time I get there to ask for it, and then you, like your good self, will be like, yeah, steamed buns, and it's one of those things where my brain shuts down as soon as I get here. I go into aggressive fever mode, and I just want to pound nugs.
Yeah.
I forget to ask for the steamed buns. Now, Eddie, you're going to do the Sunday 6 again here for Cooper.
Righto.
Quick
6
answers,
again, mate.
mate. Off the top of the dome.
6 again. What's your go-to Macca's brekkie, mate?
Bacon and egg McMuffin with a hash brown in it.
Yes, in it.
Slip it in?
Yeah, I usually take the bun off, on there, bun back on.
That's exactly how I do it as well.
Yeah, I think it's
pretty
good.
straightforward.
I think that's how everyone does it.
All right, you got to pick one. Will the Bunnies make the finals or win the wooden spoon?
Oh, I don't think they're going to win the wooden spoon, but I don't think they're going to make the finals.
So you've
So we
decided
don't-
not to do what I've asked.
But That's two one-sided questions.
Right, but
There's a
I'll
whole
ask it
nother
again.
answer.
I'll ask it again.
Ask it again.
I'll ask it again. Now, are you paying attention?
Okay, go.
Will the Bunnies make the finals or win the wooden spoon? And you have to pick one of those.
Well, I suppose they're going to win the spoon then.
Yeah,
because-
great.
Clip
great
that up.
answer. Clip that up.
Clip that up. Keep it
Oh,
going.
you no.
Send that to Latrell. You wake up, he'll be standing over you in your bedroom. Now, what'd you say about me, bro? All right.
Oh,
Defend
God.
David Fafita's decision to stay on the Gold Coast with 3 reasons.
3 reasons why he stayed.
Yep. And you obviously just make them up.
Oh, yeah, sweet. Weather, cash money, and the wild women up on the Gold Coast. And Burleigh Pavilion.
Yeah, it's 4.
There's 4.
There
Any
you go.
more?
What else you got?
Any more?
Yeah.
Surfers Paradise.
Okay. You rolling now, buddy, if you want to...
Tino Fa'asul Malawi
Oh,
as well.
wow, yeah.
Meter Maids.
Des Hasler.
Des Hasler.
Justin Holbrook.
Wow. Is he still there?
Now, we've got it. The 4th question is goat nugget sauce. I think we've answered that.
Yeah.
Yep, that's done. Who gets the Big Mac Award for Player of Magic Round so far? Because you've watched all the games, so you're the best bloke to ask.
Harry Grant.
Good answer,
Yeah,
mate.
get on him for
Great
any time
answer.
now.
Hasn't played yet,
No.
but Harry Grant. I think he'll score a double tonight.
Yeah, we'll get on Harry Grant. And final question, mate. Who wins in a pillow fight, Reed Marnie or your dad?
Jesus. Jack Hetherington. Nah, I think Dad. Dad's got more experience over Reedy.
Have you seen him with a pillow? Your old man?
Have you seen Dad with a pillow?
Yeah.
Nah, not yet, but I've seen him on the pads. He's a pretty good boxer.
Is he really?
Yeah. Yeah, he's fought Joey before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who won?
No, Dad beat him.
They
Joey
speaking
can't
yet?
fight, can he?
Hey?
They talking yet?
Not yet. Nah. I would think... Actually, I wonder if he's going to ring him for his birthday.
I mean, if you can't do it on your birthday, when can you? You know?
Yeah. Well, he's up here, so maybe they'll link up maybe for a beer later, but...
That'd be nice. You should be like broker the peace talks.
No, I'm on the next flight out of here. I had a flight for later tonight, and I just changed it to like in an hour and a half because I'm just too anxious. I need to get out.
Well, it's a perfect time to wrap it up. Can you put your hands together for Cooper Johns? Thanks a lot, mate. Thanks again to Milton Maccas for having us. How good's Magic Round? We'll see you next year.
See you guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.